What up, Poly fam? It's your girl Vita. Hey, how you doing? And so the last couple of videos I looked nice, but this one I was just like, So you gotta take the good with the bad, happy with the sad. How y'all doing? I haven't filmed in a while because I've been resting. So and I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and I have another one that I'm also in the works, but that one takes a little bit more planning. I have a little research to gather for that one, but this one actually was sparked from a discussion that was had in a poly group that I'm in. So like I said, a lot of the times the ideas that I get for videos come from discussions that I see in poly forums that I'm a part of, and so then I'm like, oh, I should do a video about that and get that information out there. And I'm going to try to condense this. I did not write this down or prepare anything, so it's probably going to be all over the place. It's off the cuff, but I promise that it will be informative and there will be some good stuff in it, and I'm going to try to remember everything that I want to say. And I'm also going to try to keep these short because my videos are so long, but I'm super long-winded. And the funny thing about poly topics is they're sort of interconnected. So you can start off talking about one topic and then branch into talking about another one. Sorry. Ugh, I got a hair in my mouth. Grody. But anyways, so I need to, you know, this topic is going to be talking about a couple of things, and they'll probably kind of intertwine and weave, but, you know, they are connected. And so this video is about needs and fair not being equal. And so the reason why this came up was there was a discussion in one of my poly groups about, you know, should a secondary partner or an outside partner or an other significant other from someone of a married couple or whatever have the same rights and considerations as the spouse? And a lot of people have, you know, very passionate feelings about the subject of hierarchy, and, you know, should we have a hierarchy? Should hierarchy be there? Death to hierarchy, down with hierarchy. Hierarchy needs to be placed so people can know their lane. You know, I'm not really going to give my opinion on hierarchy, bad or good. You know, it works for some people, it doesn't for others, and that's okay. But I do believe that outside significant partners or other significant others or, you know, secondaries, quote unquote, while they may not have the same financial obligation rights or the same time obligation rights, I do believe that they should have some basic relationship rights that go across the board. So, you know, if you have a girlfriend, or, you know, if you're married and you're a woman and you have a boyfriend, or you're married and you're a man and you have a girlfriend, or, you know, you're married and you're a woman, whatever, you know, configuration that works out for you, your other significant others and your additional partners should have the same basic relationship rights as your spouse do. And if you are the spouse of someone who has an additional partner, you should, in your mind, you should say to yourself, that person does have the same basic relationship rights than I do. They may not have the same financial obligation rights, they may not have the same time obligation rights, but they should have the same basic relation obligation rights. Things like the right to privacy in their relationship with your partner, the right to advocate for their needs in their relationship with your partner, the right to express love and affection in their relationship with your partner. You know, you should have that in your mind, that this person does have those same rights as you do, that they are not less than you, that they don't have the right to certain considerations and respect, etc., just because, you know, they don't hold that piece of paper or they're not the longer standing partner. And there's actually a great a great blog link, which I'll put the link down in the bottom, on the website More Than Two by Franklin Vo, where he talks about secondaries bill of rights or relationship bill of rights. And so I'll post that down there so you can read it, because I mean, there's way more, you know, rights than that, than some of the ones that I highlighted. But, you know, and I do a lot of this talking to wives, you know, and speaking to wives because I am a wife, and so I know how we feel, and so I do a lot of these talking to wives. And so, you know, this may come from me, you know, saying, okay, wives, this and that. But, you know, husbands, you can listen to this information, and secondaries, you can also listen to this information as well, or, you know, other significant others. You know, you should, in your mind, say to yourself, you know, this person has the same, you know, your partner's partner has the same basic relationship rights that you do. And you need to think of them that way, because, you know, thinking of them as less than is not really treating them like a human being. So, and that's where a lot of the problem comes from. Another thing that we need to remember in these kinds of situations is that fair doesn't mean equal. And so I think a lot of times what happened is, and I think that spouses do this and also outside partners do this as well, or secondaries or, you know, additional partners do this as well. You know, you feel like, well, they did this for me, so that, you know, for her, they should be doing this for me. I did that a lot. I felt that way too. Or, you know, if you do something, if you go on a date with her, you need to go on a date with me. You know, if you buy her flowers, you need to buy me flowers. If you do this, you need to do that for me. And that's not really feasible. It's not viable long term. Look at it this way. If you have children, okay, and you have a toddler and you have a 15-year-old and it's dinner time, you're not going to give the toddler a 15-year-old size plate, and, you know, conversely, you're not going to give the 15-year-old a toddler size plate. Because they have different needs. A toddler does not need to eat as much as a 15-year-old. In your relationships, it's kind of the same thing. So if you're a other significant other, you can't realistically expect to spend the same amount of time that you're going to spend with your married partner if you have a married partner. Especially if they have a spouse and children and a home and all that stuff like that. They're not going to have the time, you know, to give all of that to you because they don't have those things with you. And on the flip side, if you're a married your spouse and your partner has an additional partner, yes, you do have a right to some, you know, obligations, financial obligations, time obligations, because you have home together, you have children, etc., so forth and so on. But that doesn't mean that you have the right to just completely starve out that other relationship at all. You know, what the better thing to do is to get in touch with yourself and get in touch with your needs, what you need in a relationship, and then communicate that to your partner. So for other significant others, be realistic. Get to know what your needs are. If you know that you're going to need a lot of time, you're going to need a lot of attention and stuff like that, it's probably not a good idea for you to align yourself with someone who's married, who has children, who has a shared home with someone, because they're just not going to have that time to give to you. That's just a reality. You know, so either don't become involved with a person like that if you need all that, or don't become involved with a person like that solely. Seek to have other partners, you know, so you can get your needs met, because we all feel better when we're getting our needs met. When we're not getting our needs met, that's when a lot of that kind of wonky stuff happens. And so you kind of start acting out, saying, you know, well, this person, you know, I want all this time and stuff like that, but, you know, they're giving it to their wife. Well, I mean, you know, if they have a home and kids and stuff like that, you know, it's not personal, you know, it's just their obligations to that person, and you ultimately want someone who can honor their commitments. On the flip side, as a married person, be realistic about the amount of time that you can give to a partner. So if you're saying, you know, you get caught up in an RE and you're like, I want to spend all this time with you, I'm going to try to spend all my time with you, your spouse is probably going to feel some type of way about that, because you guys have obligations and stuff. And so you need to be realistic with, you know, your partners about what you can and cannot give to them, you know, and you need to be realistic with your partners about what you can and cannot take from them. So, you know, you can't make unrealistic demands on your partners if you're an additional significant other. And also as a spouse, you can't make unrealistic demands on your partner. So you need to kind of get to know exactly what your needs are and then communicate those needs to your partners. And so that way the relationships can be nourished based on what it is they need, and not just, you know, just giving everybody the exact same thing. Because, I mean, you literally have to have a blackboard and be ticking off, you know, okay, I did this with this person, I did this with that person, I did this with this person, I did this with that person. Now, that'll drive a person crazy. And not only will it drive a person crazy trying to do that, it'll drive you crazy trying to get that, you know, and making sure that they do exactly what they did for the other person that they did for you. It's better to just get to know what your needs are and advocate for those needs in your relationships. Look at it like plants, you know, or gardening. I'm not going to do the same things for a watermelon plant that I'm going to do for a lettuce plant. You know, they have different needs. They have different needs of sunlight. They have different needs of water. They have different needs of soil and fertilizer. And it's better to tailor your care to the specific needs of each plant. It's the same thing with your relationships. And it's also better to advocate for your needs and the things that you need, because that's what's going to make you feel good, is you're getting the things that you need, not just what somebody else is getting. And to give you a little anecdote, from my own personal experience, because I like to throw in my own personal experience in these things. My husband had an encounter with someone, and I was asking him about the details about it. And I asked him if he did a specific position with her, and he told me that he did. And I got really upset about it, because I was like, oh, he hasn't done that with me in a while. And so then I was like, well, next time we have sex together, you know, we're going to do that position. And then I thought about it, and I was like, Vita, you don't really like that position all that much, and that's why y'all don't do it that often. And I felt so silly, because I was just like, I don't really like it. And so I went back to him and I told him, I said, you know what? It's cool. Don't worry about it. You know, because I don't really like that position all that much. I prefer something else. And a lot of times in our relationships, we're going, well, that person got this. I want that too. Not really thinking that you're just wanting it because you see them doing that with someone else, not because that's something that you actually really want or need. One of the things that I noticed in my triad is, you know, my husband was a little bit more affectionate, I think, and a little bit more cuddly, I perceived with her, and it bugged me a lot. But I'm not a terribly cuddly person. I mean, I'm an affectionate person, but I'm not super cuddly. That's just not me. You know, I don't need a lot of hugging up or coddling or babying. You know, that's just not my personality. So why am I getting upset, you know, that he's doing that for her when that's who she was, you know, but, you know, I'm someone different. And so, you know, sometimes we get so caught up on what our partner is doing with someone else that we don't even stop to think, well, is that even something that I really want? You know, one of the challenges about poly, especially when you're coming from a relationship and you're opening up, is learning to love what you have with your partner and not coveting what they have with someone else. That's a real challenging thing to do. And especially when you're in the original relationship, when it's just you two, you don't really think about, well, what do I love specifically about being with my partner? But then when you see them interacting with someone else, you start going, oh, well, you know, I didn't know that they were capable of that. Well, you know, but different people bring different things out of people. And you have to kind of relearn again what it is you love specifically about being with your spouse and focus on those things instead of focusing on all the things that you wish you had with them or you wish they did or whatever, you know, different people bring different things out of people. And, rather than focusing on what it is that, you know, they have with somebody else, just focus on what you have with them and making that good. And, you know, not trying to even the score out, because as any man or person, whatever, will tell you, trying to treat two women exactly the same, or even two people exactly the same, is a fool's errand. You know, people are different. It's better to get to know your individual needs, to get to know your partners as individuals, and then treat them that way. And, you know, make sure that your needs are realistic. You know, that you're taking a realistic view of your partner and saying, okay, this is what I need, this is what you can give me, and let's try to merge those two pictures. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. So once again, fair doesn't mean equal. It just means fair. Everyone that is in a relationship with anyone has basic rights. And that as a person, you need to know that you have basic rights. As a partner to a partner with additional partners, you need to know that their partner has the same relationship rights that you do. And you need to shift your, and that's a mental shift. You actually have to, especially for, I'm speaking from a wife perspective, I had to mentally go into my brain and tell myself that about her. I had to tell myself, she has a right to this. She's his partner. She has a right to this. It wasn't second nature. It takes time. So, but, recognize, keep your obligations, keep your commitments, be true to those things. Don't make obligations and commitments that you cannot keep. And be realistic about your expectations from your partners. And I think that was pretty much everything that I wanted to say. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's all over the place, but there's still some things in there that can be gleaned. I know I'm going to try to be better about this, but I really am just an off-the-cuff kind of person, so sue me. I hope this video was helpful. It was under 15 minutes, so if you guys stuck through, like I always say, you're fucking rock stars, and I love you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Bye.